Hi there, my name is Michelle Claremont. I have a 15-year-old daughter who has been affected by a disease that is now an epidemic. She has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. 1 in 3 in some areas of the world, 1 in 2 in Vietnam, and 1 in 4 in North America are currently dealing with the same disease. Most of these people are completely unaware that their liver is in this condition because you don't generally know until symptoms are extreme, and you may not have much of a chance at that point. My goal today is to bring some awareness, share my story, and provide some warnings to those of you who may be poisoning yourself or those you love by shopping in the grocery store. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a disease where when the liver doesn't know how to handle a substance, it stores some of that substance on a shelf inside the liver to deal with later. This is very much like the alcoholic fatty liver disease syndrome. It doesn't know what to do with all of the contents of alcohol, so it replaces liver cells with a fatty cell which contains the toxin. In the case of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, the problem is caused by fructose, sodium, drugs, as in over-the-counter medications, prescription medications. It's caused by hair products. It's caused by air pollution. It's caused by skincare. Your liver can be negatively impacted by any of those things that contain chemicals or portions that it doesn't know what to do with. Let's go back 50 years. What were people eating? What were they drinking? What were they breathing in the air? The air was clean. Their food was whole. They would be getting it from the farmer. They would be getting milk delivered from a truck. The butter was pure. The cheese was pure. The meats, they weren't trying to make animals larger to feed more people. In the 70s, they started changing things, focused on providing more food to feed more people. This was a fatal mistake, and it has created the epidemic we're dealing with today. So, fructose in 1985 became extremely valuable to manufacturers as high fructose corn syrup because it was extremely cheap for them to make. So they started adding it to any product that needed a bit of sweetening or a lot of sweetening, and to increase profits. That meant they could make the product cheaper for you, and they would be able to make it for a lot less, and they'd get more profits. Now, the problem with this is that our bodies are not created understanding these chemicals or what to do with them. So, for example, fructose comes in, and the liver is your filter. The liver looks at fructose and says, I don't know what this is, so I'm not going to allow insulin to help me process this. I'm not going to notify the brain and leptin that I have been fed. I think this is just toxic and junk. So I take most of that and I put that on a shelf in my liver, and I create fatty cells, and I send the rest of it out, hoping that it gets out of your system quickly. Now, this doesn't hurt for the first time or the second time or the third time, but over time your liver then is going from a soft, spongy liver to a rock hard liver. And at that point, you have to have a transplant, or you're going to lose your life. I have a group on Facebook with 200 members on it. It is a private group because this is a disease that isn't well understood. And people tend to think of liver disease as a disease that is caused by alcohol, drugs, tattoos, and unsafe sex. It tends to be a disease of shame. You don't hear a lot about liver disease because drug companies can't do anything to fix liver disease. So they don't spend a lot of money on advertising to raise funds for that or help with any of research with that. You might see it for hepatitis because they have made some strides. They have created a vaccine for that. But overall, if you look at any medication off the shelf in your pharmacy or anything you get from the doctor, and most of them will read, if you have liver disease, this is not a recommended product, and see your doctor. So that's another huge problem. So really what I'm telling you is, when you're in the grocery store, stick to the outer aisles. Stick to whole foods, your fruits, your vegetables, dairy that's organic, meats that are organic, breads that are organic. There are places in every town that provide some of those, and some of them are very expensive, and I know that's not easy. I am a single mother myself, have been through a number of periods of unemployment, and I know how difficult it is. But you have to make the effort, and it is worth it in the end if you can save yourself or your child or your parent from dealing with a lifetime battle with their liver.